I graduated college with a bachelor's in public relations, and little did I know, I was just fucking burning it. Oh shit. Because the degree that I got, which I assumed would give me a high-paying job because that's what I was told, literally gave me nothing. I literally sent out almost 100 job applications a day on LinkedIn just for me to only get approved by 2 MLMs. And what's crazy is I didn't even get approved by the American ones. So if you don't want to make the same mistakes that I did and a lot of other Americans are making right now, make sure to watch this video till the very end because I'm going to be showing you the top 20 degrees that are going to rack your family with generational debt or keep you broke forever. So a few things to mention before we get started. I still, even though a lot of college degrees are completely useless in the modern day, I still recommend that you go to school. I got my master's in marketing from an online school called WGU, and with that I was able to land a remote work job. And when you combine that with YouTube, I'm able to make well over 6 figures a year remotely. And I don't know if I would have been able to do that without my original bachelor's. But that bachelor's was entirely useless on its own, which by the way, the bachelor's degree that I got is going to be one of the ones in this video. I also know a lot of people personally that have gotten some of the degrees I'm going to be showing you today, and I know for a fact they didn't work for them either. Also, I'm going to be judging the top 20 worst degrees based on what I think the most important metric for a degree is, which is the payback period. The payback period is just the amount of time that it takes for the degree to make its money back. So if you spent $30,000 on a degree, and when you include interest and the average cost of living, it takes a year to repay back that degree, I think that's overall a good investment, because you're going to be making a lot more money in the future. But there are some degrees I'm going to be showing you today that will literally put you and most likely your grandchildren in generational debt. I am not exaggerating when I say this. You will literally be sacked with generational debt. It's absolutely insane how terrible some of these degrees are. But I would say the bottom of our list, the number 20, the most useless degree, which I actually got a minor in this, so I'm double useless, is entrepreneurship. The average starting salary in the United States for somebody with a bachelor's in entrepreneurship is about $50,000. And keep in mind, this is only after 5 years of being in the field. So the starting salary is probably going to be worse than what I say for some of these degrees, which by the way, some of the worst degrees I'm going to be showing you in this video, you would make literally more as a McDonald's fast food worker than you would with that degree if you even get a job in the field. But with entrepreneurship specifically, the idea of entrepreneurship is that you're going to go start a business, you know, you're subscribed to Hustlers University and you're going to go start a dropshipping business, because I'm really sure that people on Facebook definitely want that wolf mug that you're getting on AliExpress for $1. But most of the time, if somebody gets an entrepreneurship degree, they're most likely going to end up in middle management, which middle management as a career is also kind of dying. But that's for a video for another day. The buyback period for this degree, however, is only 6.1 years, which isn't as bad as some of the generational debts some of these degrees will leave you in, but still 6 years is a crazy amount of time. Next up at number 19, I didn't even know there was a degree for this. That is woodworking. You have an average starting salary of $51,000 with a buyback period of 14.8 years. Now, there are about 224,000 jobs available for woodworkers in the United States. But the reason why this degree is completely useless is because if you want to be a woodworker or a carpenter, you can just join an apprenticeship and get paid to learn how to do it. My uncle is a carpenter, and that's how he got started. He literally got paid $40,000 for 2 years to get paid on the job. And then after that, he had a starting salary of about $60K. So I don't know why you would bother getting a bachelor's degree in woodworking if you could just go to an apprenticeship and get paid to learn instead. Next up, number 18 is going to be fashion design. This degree has an average salary after 5 years of $44,000 and a buyback time of 14.6 years. Now get this, there is only 21,000 fashion designer jobs in 2023. And keep in mind, there is 13,000 people every single year graduating with this degree, meaning that since there's only 21,000 jobs available, period, literally half of them have already been filled just this year. Obviously, that is completely useless. Number 17, I know for a fact definitely some of the degrees on this list are gonna make some people quite triggered, and I'm literally just reading the studies here. My degree is also on this list, and I can confirm that it was completely useless. So if you get upset by this video, you know, I'm sorry. And I also know that it's possible to make some of these careers work. I'm just saying that for bachelor's degrees specifically, these are the ones that are gonna leave you with generational debt. The next one is health administrative services. If you get a health admin degree, you have an average salary of $44,000 and a buyback period of 10.4 years. There is a total number of 88,000 people getting this degree every single year, with about 500,000 total available jobs for people to be medical and health services managers. Now, employment is expected to grow about 30% within the next 10 years. Unfortunately, 88,000 degrees per year is not enough for 30% over the span of 10 years, meaning that if you get this degree within the next 10 years, you have a 10% chance of just not having a job. So even though on paper it is possible to make a lot of money with that degree, my aunt, for example, makes a fuck ton of money with that degree, but she doesn't work as a hospital manager anymore. She works selling lab equipment, meaning that sales or just a normal biology degree, which biology is also on this list, spoiler alert, would have served her just as well. Next up at the number 16 slot, it is going to be history. I love history, I love watching history, but unfortunately after 5 years it has an average salary of $44,000 and has a buyback period of 13.1 years. That means for the next 13 years you're gonna have student debt hanging over your head. For a history teacher on Glassdoor, there's only about 1,400 history jobs in the United States as of this month. And the total number of graduates with a history degree this year in the United States is somewhere between 15 and 20,000, meaning that you have no shot of getting a history teacher job. Now, if you want to get a history degree because you enjoy learning and you love learning about history, that's totally fine. Just don't get into student debt to do it. But if you do find yourself in student debt, either down the road or if you're still planning on getting a degree that's hopefully not one of the ones I'm talking about in this video, and you can't get access to enough student loans, or you want to refinance your student loans and get as low as half the interest rate that a public student loan offers, go ahead and check out SoFi in the description down below. They offer crazy refinancing rates. I've seen them as low as 4.5% for student loans. Specifically, if you're a med student of any kind, you can get a ton of student debt relief from them. Or if you're looking to get loans, SoFi does offer very, very competitive rates of an average of about 6%, which is killer considering that the federal interest rates right now hover between 7 and 8%. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to sign up for SoFi. If you're any of those degrees that I'm gonna have in the description down below for either refinancing or for applying for debt or for applying for loans, I'm gonna include all those in the description. Just click on them and SoFi will help you out. For full transparency, I do get a small kickback, but I personally use SoFi to refinance my student debt of about $30,000, and I brought my interest rate from about 10%, which is what I got publicly, to 5.4%, meaning that I'm stacked with half the amount of interest as I had before. So I wouldn't recommend them if I didn't think they were good. But anyway, back to the list. Next up at number 15, we're gonna have English language and literature with a starting salary of $41,000 and a buyback period of 21 years. And there is currently only 1,100 English teaching jobs available on Total Jobs, and even less on Upwork and Glassdoor and Indeed. And get this, there is 37,000 graduates with an unemployment rate of 2.3%, which is almost double the average college unemployment rate. So that's obviously a really terrible degree, but there is a way to make it work. I have an uncle who got a degree in English, specifically English literature. Even though he probably doesn't know how to read and barely got his way through Moby Dick, he still ended up getting the degree somehow. But he actually went to law school, and with that degree, he basically instantly got into whatever law school he wanted because he scored pretty well in the LSAT, and these days he absolutely crushes as a lawyer. So if you are interested in being a lawyer, getting an English degree is actually a pretty good path for that. Because of how easy the degree is, you can just spend most of your time studying up for the LSAT and studying for future law school. Plus, if you go to WGU, which I would recommend, and get their online program, you can get that bachelor's done in as little as potentially 6 months. Unfortunately, WGU doesn't offer a law school program, but considering that the average tuition rate for a semester at WGU is only about $2,000 to $4,000, meaning that you would only have to pay $2,000 to $4,000 to get the degree, I don't know why you wouldn't go that way. Next up at number 14, we have criminal justice. I know a lot of cops are gonna get upset at me saying this. There's donuts on their breath right now. You can smell the donuts and coffee, but unfortunately it has a buyback period of 5.4 years with a total number of 63,000 openings each year. And there is a total of well over 100,000 graduates who either got a criminal justice studies, criminal justice, or criminal justice and political science and police science, criminal justice and police science, or a corrections degree. There's about 100,000 people who got those jobs, and there's on average only about 60,000 openings each year. Plus, with the buyback period, it's not a great degree to get, but you could get this degree instead of an English degree and turn that into a law degree. But I don't really know why you would go to law school to learn more about law when you already learned about law in your bachelor's. To me, it would make more sense just to get a piss easy degree that you can grind out and get done super quick, like English, so you can focus your learning energy more on the actual law itself rather than the criminal justice. But my brother is getting a degree in criminal justice, and he does plan on going to med school so he can become a crime scene analysis inspector. And that job, with some time in the field, you can make up to 6 figures a year. So it's definitely possible to make something like that work. Next up, we have health/medical preparatory programs with an average salary of $36,000 and a buyback period of 8.8 years. Basically, you're becoming a nurse. I don't know why you wouldn't just go get a nursing degree, because that's gonna pay you way more once you get out of residency, or if you just go to med school and become a surgeon, you're just gonna get paid way more over time compared to if you just do a prep program. Prep programs are basically just for people who don't really know what they're doing inside of the space yet. And because of that, they're not specialized in anything. So they don't get no good salary because they're not specialized in anything, because the medical field is all about getting really good at one specific thing and just doing that. Everybody who I know anecdotally who's gotten into the medical field, that's what they would tell you. Just trying to like be a catch-all and do everything, as we saw with health admin, is not really a great idea. It's a lot better idea just to focus on one thing that you know you can do really well, because that will pay off in the long term. For example, my best friend is getting a personal training degree, and that has a average starting salary of $15 an hour, which he would make more at fucking McDonald's. And I begged him for years just to go to medical school, and then he finally did go to medical school, and now he's looking at opening jobs as a physical therapist assistant that start at anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000. That's starting. And if he opens his own clinic, he could be making millions every single year. That kind of generalism thing that I'm talking about with the medical field applies to this next degree, which is number 11, which is biology. Biology has a starting salary of $36,000 a year with a buyback period of 8.8 years. Now, like I said, with biology, you can take this degree and turn it into med school, but if you don't turn it into med school, you're screwed. Now, the problem with biology is that because it's so general and there's so many things that you could do, you're not really specializing in one thing and getting good at it. Honestly, that's the key to finding success in your career, and that's what I wish somebody told me. For me, I got really good at making YouTube videos. I got really good at teaching people how to make YouTube videos that get views and that make money. So because of that, I can basically work at any company that I want remotely, teaching them how to do YouTube and how to grow a YouTube channel, or I can teach other people how to do it as well. And I can sit here and grow my own YouTube channels like I do right now. And because of that, I'm able to generate really good money. So if you're just kind of like wanderously aiming, just gonna be like, oh, I'll just get a biology degree and I'll just kind of figure it out later, that is not the right mindset. The mindset should be, I want to do this thing, so I'm going to lock in on this thing. And the reason why I would recommend WGU is because since it's so cheap to get a degree and you can get them so fast, because they allow you to be completely 100% self-paced, so you just fully lock in and get it done. I was able to get my marketing master's done in 6 months, and that was working part-time on it, just because I was locked in and laser focused. I've had friends who were able to get their bachelor's degree in just a year with WGU. My fiance is going to be getting her early childhood degree. She just started it and she's on track to be finishing it within about a year. So if you really want to play around with school and you want to just have fun, getting a degree at WGU or any kind of online school where it's going to be cheap is not a bad idea because you can kind of just go anywhere with it. But the thing about biology is that there's currently only about 130,000 jobs available, period, and it's only expected to grow by about 5% in the next year. And with the fact that there's well over 106 graduates in general biology in the same year, that just means that you're gonna have a way harder time finding a job if all you get is just a biology degree. Now, instead of getting a biology degree, maybe you get a zoologist degree. Zoologists don't get paid a ton, but you know, at least you're going somewhere. At least you're not just being like, I don't know, I'm just flailing out into the world. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. The number 10 spot is going to be psychology with an average salary of $35,000 and a buyback period of 8.5 years. You're screwed. It sucks because I know a lot of people get into psychology. I actually thought about getting into psychology myself because they want to help people and make a difference, but unfortunately there's just not many jobs available. The market is shrinking quite rapidly, and psychology just means that you can become a therapist, and especially with most mental health programs in the US getting their funding cut, I just would say it's a bad area to get into. At number 9, we have travel and tourism. I don't really know why I have to explain this one. Travel agents are not a thing anymore. Google Flight exists. You got an average salary after 5 years of $35,000 with a buyback period of 3 to 10 years. It's over if you get this degree. I don't know why you'd get that degree. It's useless. Next up, philosophy. This one kind of makes me sad because I love studying philosophy and it would be great if you could make a real career out of it, but we don't really live in the Greek times anymore where if you just kind of say some fancy things, you know, people will pay attention to you and sometimes send you money. Well, actually, that does kind of work that way. But if you just get a job as a philosophy teacher, which is kind of your main option, you got an average salary after 5 years of $32,000 and a buyback period of 14 years. So in conclusion, if you get that degree, it's over, which is sad because I think it would be fun to get it, but it is what it is. Next up, number 7, we got photography. That is a average salary of $30,000 and a buyback period of 21 years to be a glorified phone user. Like, people don't really understand the difference between a good photographist and a bad photographist. I can take a picture with my phone's portrait mode and everybody thinks I'm a professional photographer. So the idea of getting a degree for that, just to take pictures for people professionally, even though you could just start doing that now and make some money, I don't really know what you're trying to get at there. Next up, number 6, we got anthropology. You got an average starting salary of about $30,000 with a buyback period of 15.5 years. There's currently 8,700 jobs available for anthropologists in the United States, with a total of 10,000 degrees awarded this year. It is a rapidly diminishing field, which is sad because I think dinosaurs are cool, but nobody really cares about anthropology, which is sad because Jurassic Park was a cool movie and everybody loves dinosaurs, but nobody's really interested in doing dinosaur studies. Nobody's funding dinosaur studies anymore. You would have more success with communication studies, and that's also a kind of useless degree. That makes me triple sad because I love communication studies. Number 5, we got studio and fine arts. This one's kind of self-explanatory. This is kind of the meme one that everybody points at and is like, aha, you're broke. It's over for you, bro. You're done. Because you have an average salary of $30,000 with a buyback period of 18 years. On that payback period alone, I don't know how you could ever, in good conscience, get a degree in the arts in general. It's always useless. The chance of you making it in Hollywood is 0 because you're not a Nepo baby. Your dad isn't John Travolta. Your dad isn't Robert De Niro. Or maybe you are Robert De Niro's son or John Travolta's son or daughter. In that case, I apologize. You probably could make it if you wanted to. Acting and drama and any kind of those fields is a field that are plagued with nepotism. Unless you know people and people like you, which for me is definitely very hard. then it's basically impossible to really find any way to make that field work. Plus, on top of that, it is chronically underpaid. There's a reason why the SAG strikes happened last year, and for writers, it's even worse. Residuals don't really hit anymore unless you worked on like fucking Rick and Morty or something like that. And most of the time, a lot of the shows that you could work on if you get a fine arts degree end up on streaming where you're not getting any money at all. So what's even the point? At number 4, we have music. Again, this is just so you can be a music teacher and teach other people how to get a music degree so you can fund the debt from your music degree. If that's not an MLM, I don't know what is. You got an average salary of $29K with a payback period of 22 years. Yeah, it's over. We haven't even hit the real generational debt, which number 2 is the degree that honestly breaks my heart the most, but we're at number 3 right now. That is drama and theater. This is self-explanatory, you know, I think it's kind of over. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just be in the school play and make a show reel and send it to places. I don't know why you have to get a degree to be better at drama. Isn't it just something you kind of learn how to do? My best friend's fiance, for example, is a professional singer and she's not getting a degree in it, but she gets paid more probably than people who do get degrees in it. Because with drama and theater, you get an average salary of $27K with a payback period of a absolutely fucking ridiculous 41 years. That means that if you get this degree, you are stacked with student debt for literally the next half of your life. But that's not even as bad as the number 1 slot, dude. It gets so much fucking worse. Now, number 2, this one breaks my fucking heart. That is education. You got an average salary of $25K and a payback period of 21 years. Teachers deserve to be paid more. The amount of shit that they put up with. Like I said, my fiance is a early childhood teacher. She works in a daycare. She doesn't have a degree right now, but she is getting started with WGU, and her degree isn't gonna cost her more than $4 grand. So to me, I don't see any reason why she wouldn't get it, because it is gonna be a increased salary of about $10,000. What breaks my heart about education is that my mom was also a teacher and she got paid terribly. It's a brutal job to work. Gen Z, speaking as a Gen Zer, we're a fucking weird generation. Gen Alpha is even weirder. We're hard to work with. Teachers unions are getting shackled left and right, and with Trump and Elon Musk literally cutting the Department of Education and making it so that most states aren't going to have the money to pay their schools anymore, that means that teacher salaries again are going to be the first thing that gets cut. Teachers should be paid like doctors. They foster the next generation and they just don't. So anybody who is a teacher, I salute you. I think you're doing the world a service. You deserve to get paid way more than I do for just making stupid videos. I think you deserve to get paid minimum 6 figures, if not more. It's sad. Because also with teaching jobs, you have to constantly re-up your teaching certificates. You have to, every 3 to 5 years, depending on which state you're in, you have to take more college credits, meaning that this is a degree that you're basically going to have to continue learning. Even though you already know everything about it, you're going to have to keep taking courses about it for the rest of your life. Plus, if you want to move, you have to get a new teaching certificate in that new state. And yeah, the degree itself will carry over, but not the credentials. And if you're any more than an elementary school teacher, you have to get new credentials per state, because every state does it differently. Because states shouldn't have the right to figure out education, but we're not going to make this video political more than it already is, because I know there's a lot of people who are already very, very upset by some of the things that I've said in this video, and I'm sorry. I'm just a guy. If you disagree with me, that's okay. And something that I've said and something that I've been alluding to in this video that I think you should believe is that there's a lot of paths in life. There's a lot of ways to make things work. If there's something that you're genuinely passionate about, I think you should give it a shot. But there is one thing that if you're passionate about it, that if you get a degree, and that is our number 1 worst spot by far, that is a dance degree. So I'm gonna say the average salary first, which is $25,000, which is terrible for a 4-year degree, but that's not where you're burning the real money. Where you're actually burning the money is in the payback period. And the reason why is because dance degrees are so fucking expensive. My camera just turned off. Okay, we're gonna finish this video with camera B. Fuck camera A. But I'm telling you, dude, if you get this degree, it's gonna take you 150 fucking years to pay it back. How the fuck are you gonna do that? How is that gonna happen? That is generational debt you just put on your family by getting this degree. You are stacked you are ruined. If you get a dance degree, you are ruined. It is over, dude. You're done. You're donezo. Even my dog would agree. See? She agrees it's terrible. If you get a dance degree, it's over for you. Like, I can understand we should pay teachers better. What exactly kind of job are you getting as a dance degree? Like a dance instructor? Do you really need a degree for that? Can't you just like do it? Yeah, I get it. Dance is technical, but 150 years of debt is what you get if you get it. So don't get it. That is a degree you're not gonna, don't get it. Stop thinking about it. Actually, you know what? I'm curious now. What's the total number of jobs available? Dance, total number of jobs available. 15,000 dancers are employed. How many graduates this year? 18,000? 18,000 people got a dance degree. That's it, I'm done. I'm out. That's it, it's over. I'm pissed. I'm out. All right. Here's what you're doing if you get a dance degree. So you see my degree right here. You're fucking grabbing it, throwing it in the air. 18,000. Who the fuck gets a dance degree, dude? Like, why? Why would what? Oh God. Okay, I'm done. This video's over. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I dropped free game on a Telegram in the description down below if you want to learn more about how to get a remote job and do YouTube. Thanks, bye.